If you can learn to balance both the masculine and the feminine energies, and you can learn to balance both intention and surrender, what this is going to allow you to do is this is going to allow you to manifest what you want in a very balanced way, in a very effective way, in what I believe to be the fastest way possible. Because if you're out of alignment, even slightly, with the masculine or the feminine, it might not allow you to be in your full power, your full empowerment to actually manifest what you want in your life. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to balance intention and surrender to be able to manifest the reality that you truly want, to bring these energies into harmony, to bring these energies into balance so that you're able to still do the things you need to do, but almost in a way effortlessly create the things that you want to see happen in your life. So if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. The first thing that you want to understand when it comes to how to balance both the masculine and the feminine, the intention and surrender to manifest your reality, is that I want you to understand, first of all, that you can choose to do anything you want. You can choose to be anything that you want. And this is where the intention comes in. Okay, we're going to get into the surrender afterwards, but you want to understand that the intention aspect of life is that whether you're aware of this or not, you can choose to be whatever you want to be. So what the mind will say is, oh, I can't be this because these limitations are coming up in my experience. I can't be this because of these reasons. I can't be this because of those reasons. But you got to understand that all of that is just the ego and the construct that you've built up, not you specifically, but an ego can build up this identity, believe that it's a certain way, and then it's like, oh, actually, I can't be this way because this is the way that I am right now. And although that might be true from one perspective, from another perspective, the way that the ego has developed up until that point doesn't necessarily have to be that it is going to be in this next moment. Because here's the thing, is that you're an infinite being that can continually shift and be something completely new in each moment. That's the infinite potential that is within you. And what you want to understand is that you can literally choose to be whatever you want and then deal with all the limitation that comes up later. Some people have a belief system where they say, okay, once I heal myself enough, once I once I get the skill sets, then I can become this person. Then I can be this way. But actually, what you got to understand is that the intention aspect of life that I'm sharing with you right now is that you are allowed to choose to be whatever you want. If you want to be an artist, what rule book in the universe says that you can't be an artist right now? Who says? Who decides? Now, I guess for some things it's like, oh, Francis, but what about being a doctor? You got to get a degree for that. Now, for certain positions, I guess there has to be a certain level of certification, but you'd be surprised that for a lot of positions that people want to be and a lot of things that they want to create in the world, you don't need a degree, you don't need a piece of paper. You can just choose to be that way. Let's start with something like being more confident. You don't need a certificate for that. You don't need to prove to yourself that you can be confident through experience. Although from one perspective that is true, you can also just choose that this is your identity. It's like, Francis, but it's not that simple. There's going to be these limitations and I'm going to get shy around people. So here's the thing. I'm not saying that the previous identity is not going to try to come back through the back door and convince you why you're not that way. It's not just going to be as simple as to say, this is the way I am now, and here we are. That's the intention, right? You set the intention to be a certain way, but doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be that way right off the bat. Not necessarily. The old ego will fight. The old identity of who you thought you were and who you might still think you are in this process will fight for its identity. It'll defend its identity. You might have a coach guiding you through, hey, here are the reasons you can create this income. Here are the reasons you can be this way in the world. And the ego is going to be like, no, like, what about this? And what? Yeah, all of that stuff is completely normal given the fact that you're literally shifting into a completely new version of who you are at a human, tangible level. Who you truly are, of course, is the formless that can shift into anything that it wants, but your humanness is quite literally transforming when you set an intention to be a completely new way. So when you set that intention, yeah, the shadow is going to come up to the surface. And so that brings us to the second point, which is the surrender, but we'll go deeper into that in just a little bit. But the second thing I want you to understand is that where the surrender comes in, well, let's just get into it right now. The surrender comes in where you have to start trusting yourself that you're gonna start to be that way, that you're gonna become that version of who you are. You're gonna start to have to become aware of all the different subconscious programs that you think are running your life, and they are running your life. But the thing is, they don't have to. They don't have to. So when you set an intention to be a certain way, yes, the shadow is going to come up to the surface, trying to convince you why you're not allowed to be this way, why you're not allowed to be this way. You're going to suffer from what some people call imposter syndrome. Like, oh, I'm not qualified to do this thing. I'm not qualified to be this way. All of that is the shadow. All of that is your ego and who you currently think you are, stopping you from being who you truly are. Who you truly are is just a formless, infinite being that can choose whatever it wants in this life. That's what you came here to do. I believe that you came here to be whatever you want to be, okay? And there's no rules other than the rules that we imposed on ourselves. There's no rules other than the rules that we imposed on ourselves. So here's the thing you gotta understand is that yes, I am always a believer of trusting your intuition, but the problem here is that when you're shifting identities, believe me, it's not gonna feel right to be that way. It's gonna feel a little bit unfamiliar. It's gonna feel a little bit confusing. And so what you wanna do is bring awareness to the parts of your ego that were previously unconscious, bring it to your consciousness and start to see all that limitation telling you that you're not allowed to do what you want to do or be the way you want to be or manifest what you want. We have these unconscious programs always trying to tell us that we're not allowed to be a certain way, that we're not allowed to manifest certain things. And it's absolutely shocking because a lot of this is completely unconscious. It's not even in the awareness. It's kind of happening in the background as this program, but you might not see it as a program. You might see it as this is the tangible, solid way that I am and the way that I always will be and the way that I always have to be. Absolutely not. That is not the truth. The truth is that you're going to start to have these programs coming up once you set that intention, all the doubt, all the fear. And what you want to do is have consciousness, okay? Have awareness around the program, because the program is what's stopping you from being in that new program, that new way of being. This is why a lot of people have a lot of difficulty using things like affirmations, because they haven't deleted the old program. Well, how do you delete the old program? You have to bring it to your conscious awareness. And this is what allows you to release the ego, to release the version of you that you currently think this is the way that I am and the way that I always have to be. Yeah, that is BS, belief systems. So you want to start to trust the fact that you are going to be that way. Not a trust necessarily in your feelings. Your feelings can be a part of it sometimes, but trust in the deeper wisdom the deeper essence of who you truly are that can choose to be what it wants. And the reason why I say trust your intuition but not your feelings, because yes, your intuition is a part of your feelings, but actually what I've come to realize is that our intuition and that deeper wisdom that's guiding us goes far beyond thoughts and even your feelings, okay? So you want to start to trust in yourself, okay, who you really are. You want to trust in the people in your life that perhaps are already where you want to be. You want to start trusting in the divine, which is of course you, but you know, if you want to see it as some external thing, go right ahead. But actually the essence of who you are is the divine, okay? You want to trust that you are going to be that way and have proper expectations that actually in the process of surrendering and allowing that version of you to come through, part of that surrender is to bring awareness to the shadow, all the limitation. You want to start to realize that you are not your limitations. This is the most important aspect. The most important aspect of this entire video is to bring awareness to the fact that none of the limitations and the fears that you have are who you really are. That's just all it is. Even that version of you that you choose to be is not who you truly are. That's an illusion, okay? You don't want to attach to that illusion. It is a complete false reality. But the question is, are you lost in the false reality, or are you aware that you're living in an illusion? Because once you become aware that you're in an illusion, you can play with the illusion. You see, the ego doesn't know what play is. It's completely lost touch with play and choosing and, you know, no. It's like, oh, this is the way that I am and this is the solid reality. Here we are and that's all it is. Nope, that's the ego making things serious, making things very dense, and convincing you that reality is just a static thing. No, it's not a static thing. It's dynamic. It's always changing. It's always shifting. And the question is, are you lost in one way of being that you think this is just the way reality is? Or are you going to connect back to the play of life? The play, because life is just a play, okay? It's a play. It's just a play. You forgot that you were a creator and you forgot that you could choose what you want and you just got lost in the game. And hey, I get you. I've been there, but I'm here to say, wake up, because you're here to play the game however you want. Now, I want you to understand that discomfort is going to arise in this process, because when I say trust your intuition goes a lot deeper than just what you feel. It's part of it sometimes when your energy and frequency is very high. You do want to trust in this, but it's also important to be aware that when you're in the process of transforming into that new version of yourself, whatever you intend to manifest or whatever you choose to be, whatever you choose to take action on, okay, whatever you choose to move forward in, you want to start to understand that the old patterns are going to come up. So intend what you want, but know that it's going to feel like you're not able to create it sometimes. You're going to feel like, oh, I'm not allowed to do this. And believe me, when it gets the hardest is when you really want to have that consciousness and that awareness. Because your ego is really going to start to, like, usually when the highest levels of doubt start to come up, that's where most of the transformation happens. When you feel the highest levels of discomfort coming up in the process, all that resistance, all that negativity, understand that's an opportunity for you to bring awareness to that, to bring consciousness to the fact that your ego is really trying to stick on, your consciousness is really trying to stick onto that identity and convince yourself that's what it is. You want to have separation between who you truly are and the old version of you that you think you are, that's fighting for itself. It's fighting for the lower self. Connect back to the higher self and understand that you have the opportunity here from just watching this video and having the conscious awareness that you don't have to believe in that limitation, because you are not your limitation. So When it comes to balancing intention and surrender as well, understand that yes, you can choose to be what you are, but the final thing I want you to understand is that when you're taking action on something, when you're choosing, when you're in that intention energy, yes, I choose to be what I want, keep in mind that you can take that too far. You can take it too far. You can be in such an intention energy of, oh, I have to take action in this way, and I have to work and be in this resistant energy. Beware when you're taking it too far, because you have to have that element of trust. Yes, you choose your reality, but understand that also you're connected to the divine consciousness that might have a different plan for you than your ego does, okay? So when you're setting that intention, try to realize when it's coming from your ego. Maybe it's time for you to connect with who you truly are and your higher self and ask, what does the universe want to create through me? Not what your ego thinks it wants, but what does the universe and the divine intelligence and who you truly are want to actually create through the vessel that you are right now? What wants to come through? What wants to manifest through the vessel, through the human? What wants to manifest, okay? This video had a lot of notes, and I'm just realizing actually a lot of those notes did not want to come through. So actually an entirely new video that is coming out of the divine consciousness right now is being manifested right now. And this video is going to be way more powerful than whatever intention I had before. I'll tell you that right now. Now, did I have the intention? Yes. The intention was to create a video based on intention and surrender and how to balance those two aspects of life. But you see, if I'm very focused on it has to be this way and it has to come through in this exact way, you're blocking yourself from trusting the divine and trusting all the ways that your manifestation can actually happen. So yes, choose what you want, but trust that when you're in the process of creating that version of yourself or manifesting that thing, intend for it, but trust that actually it can happen in infinite ways. Maybe even in the middle of a limitation it comes up. It's like, oh, I need to clear these limitations before I can manifest this thing. Well, what if that you're just conscious of the limitation and then it just manifests in your life, whatever it is that you want? What if that's the case? Understand that reality is a game, okay? Reality is a game, and the more that you can balance you choosing what you want, you being the way that you want, but also balancing that surrender of trusting that the limitations are not who you are, trusting that it's going to manifest, trusting the divine consciousness that you truly are, and allow that divine to bring through exactly what it needs to manifest your heart's desires. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit to work with me one-on-one personally. As always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.